Hello everyone and welcome back to a new video. It was quite a while ago, and for this video I would like to thank you all for 50 plus subscribers. I am very thankful, and thank you all for watching my videos, commenting, hitting thumbs up. I'm just really happy for this. So today I would like to make another wolf tutorial. This will be made in like traditional artwork. So let's get started. So let's begin with the head. Now remember, this is my style. Everyone has their unique drawing style, and I always hear people asking me, can you please teach me to draw like you? Well, I'm sorry, I can't. I'm glad that y'all like my choosing of drawing. But you need to find your own specific style. And my style may not always work for you. Sure, you can always develop a similar style, but your hand will always find its own specific style. So now I would like to show you all my style of drawing wolves, or well, a wolf head, and we're going to go through the basics, and also different types of emotions. Now you all know that wolves can't really show emotions like us people. They can't, sure, they can smile, they can like show their teeth and stuff, but you know, it doesn't really work the same way as with humans. But with my style it sort of does, because I give them a sort of human-like appearance, just slightly. So it's easier for us to read their emotions. So let's begin with a circle for the head. Now I don't usually use these steps, but for a beginner you might really need this. Now this is just very basic. This is the ear. The forehead is going to come down like this. And from this point and to the end of this ear, you're going to draw a straight line. Now remember, when you're drawing these basics, you need a really light hand. Otherwise it will be really difficult for you to erase later on. And from this line, continue, just like so. This part right here is going to be like a sort of a block shape. Then it's going to end right here with the circle here, and here almost from the middle here, depending on what type of wolf and character you want to draw. You can draw a line like so. And the neck, of course, is going to come down like this. And the eye. There we go. And the nose. This is the basic, well, guidelines for a wolf head. Oh, I thought there was some. There we go. And now it's time to take our eraser. This is at least how I do it. I want to erase just slightly. Now it might be difficult for you guys to see the lines. I'm erasing as lightly as possible, just so I can barely see these lines, because I don't want them later on. And now we're going to draw in the lines that we actually want. I usually begin with either the eye or the ear, but I usually like to begin with the ear. Don't ask why, and there's no particular reason. You can begin with either body part you want. Now remember, their ears are kind of fluffy, since there's a lot of fur. This is the back of the ear right here. And up like that, and down. And here are these sort of scent thingies. I don't know what they're called. But from here there's a particular scent to mark territory and all that. Most animals have them. Really fluffy ears. Now remember the fur. You don't want to go like this, because that isn't going to give it a lot of character and emotion and, well, reality. Like, no one has fur like that. But it's kind of like just really random. Still remember to keep a really light hand. Just gonna continue like that. And here's a sort of specific thing that I always add on my wolves. That's not an eye, that's sort of an eyebrow. It can come up if it's surprised or happy or something, and it can come down if it's mad or like focusing on something. So this little ball right here, it gives a lot of emotion. And this is the nose right here. Remember, this edge right here, you don't want it coming down like that and just instantly out. Give it just a smooth lining like this. And it's going to look a lot more realistic. Depending on what type of style you have, of course. And here's the nose. Now, a wolf nose. This is how I draw them. It's real this smooth line like this. Here's the nostril. Now there's how I draw a wolf nose. And I usually add just a little line like that to give it more, well, sort of a round effect to it. And I do exactly the same here. Now there's the nose. We go down just a little bit. There's the lip, and alright, so now we have the whole nose area. Sometimes I like to add these kind of things where the like, what's it called? Whiskers. Where the whiskers come out. And I also like to add just a little line like that. And like that. That's just some details. Not really very necessary. And as wolves do have a lot of fur to keep them warm, we're not gonna go all the way here and follow this line and this line. We're going to begin right here. See this line here? That's where we're gonna begin to add some fur. Also, still depending on your choosing of style and wolf. Now I'm trying to draw really realistic hair. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. And some details to add some volume to the wolf. And now to the eye. Now a wolf eye, this is the eyeball. You want to draw a line like this. And from this point right here, you want to draw a line like that. And you don't really want to follow this circle straight out because that's gonna look quite weird. Now, if the wolf isn't surprised or something and really widening their eyes, but this wolf isn't gonna do that. It's just gonna be relaxed. And then you can, from this point right here, you can just sort of draw sort of a straight line. It doesn't have to be exactly straight. And here, down like that, all the way here, sort of a straight. You can draw sort of a straight line from here and up in a really smooth bend. Like that. And now you can follow this circle right here to draw in the eyeball. You can also add some detail to the eye with some with an eye socket right here. Now I'm just gonna draw in the lines a bit. You can always add some color here. There we go. And of course, the pupil. Remember, when you draw an eye, always add some highlights. Otherwise, the eye is gonna look really dull and boring and, well, dead. Always remember the highlights. And if you want to add some volume and some nice round effect to the eye, you can add some shadow, just like so. Not a straight line, but like try to follow this round, what do you call it? Round shape. You can also add some grayish as color or normal color. And as there's a nice highlight here, you don't want to cover that because you want the highlights. You want the highlights and you want the shadows. Because without that, the eye is gonna be really boring. See? Quite nice. Not exactly my style, but this is how I quickly draw a wolf eye. That's why I draw a wolf eye. So this is more like... I don't really know what to call it, but it's kind of my style and still not kind of my style. Now, let's add an eye to this wolf. There we go. And the other ear, of course. And there we have a wolf head. Now, we'll move on from the basics of a wolf head to different kinds of emotions. Okay, now, I've already begun with some basic shapes for the head and neck. Now, depending on the emotion of the wolf, it's going to bend its ears differently, and it might open its mouth or anything like that. So that's why I haven't drawn in the nose and ears. So this one, I've decided it's going to be sad, angry, and happy. 3 different emotions. Now for the sad one. An ear. It's not completely bent backwards. It's like slightly pointed back between up and down. And angry. It's like completely flat backwards. And happy. Upwards, just like before. So 3 different emotions and 3 different ears. And then we have the eyes. It's still the basic round shape by this line here. It's sad. Still this normal block shape. Angry. You can have this little bend right here. You'll see why soon enough. And happy. Simply the normal block shape. Okay, just like before, slightly erase these lines, just slightly, so we can still see them. Just like so. And now we're gonna do is just like before, we're gonna join these lines that we want to keep. So we begin with the sad one, and I personally begin with the ears most often. So as it's going to be like just slightly pointed back, it's going to, this ear is going to face us. So you'll slightly be able to see the inner part of the ear. And the mouth. This is going to show a lot of emotion. can have it come down, just like so. Like a little frown. And then of course the fur. And now the eye. Can have it look slightly stunned or shocked or surprised. And then to really add some sad emotion, you can always add a little bit of tears right there. Some people don't like it when wolves cry. But I added just for some emotion, and also the eyebrow. And now for the angry wolf. Now remember, this ear is completely flat, so we won't be able to see the insides of the ear. Now, as I mentioned before, this eyebrow thingy, it shows a lot of emotion. So now that it's angry, I'm letting it come down a bit. And this bend that I made earlier is going to be a bit wrinkled, since it's going to show its fangs. So yeah, this wolf is pretty angry. Now for the fangs. If you want to be able to draw wolves or anything really well, then you need to know your anatomy. So just go to Google and search for wolf skull and look at the teeth. So this wolf is really baring its teeth. Not the best scroll I've made, but I guess it works. And then again the eye. The eye shows a lot of emotion. Now for the happy wolf, it's going to look quite a lot like the previous wolf that we made, like this one. But I'm going to change the appearance just slightly. The normal ear. And I'm not following these guidelines to the fullest, but you don't have to do that. If you see that you've made a mistake in guidelines, you still don't have to follow them. Now we're going to give this wolf a really good and big smile, because he or she is really happy. can even make the fur stand up a bit. And the eyes are just really wide. And of course, if you make a mistake, you always have your eraser. There we go, a happy wolf. It even looks a little bit crazy, so I failed just slightly, but it's okay. And here we have our angry wolf and our sad wolf. So yeah, that's a tutorial on wolf heads and also some emotion. I'm gonna make a bonus one just so I can get the happy one a bit more right. This time I'm going to let its mouth be a bit open. And I'm even going to change the neck a bit. And this time I'm going to use an ink pen pencil, if I can find one that's actually filled. There we go. Okay, to make this wolf really happy, of course, he or she needs a big, happy smile. And to make the smile even bigger, you can always open the mouth. And remember, keep the lines very smooth. The smoother, the better. There we go. A really happy wolf. I really hope that you enjoyed this wolf head and emotion tutorial. I was planning to show you guys a bit more things, like different poses, maybe running and such, but I think I'm going to save that for another time. So see you in the next video. Goodbye.